Well, I'm going to make an attempt here to do some summaries. We had some fantastic content here, another great knowledge sharing session. Thank you all for keep making me smarter again, because one of the things I love about the show is I get to hear from a lot of smart people every time we do it, and you guys help keep me smart. So let's talk about some of the highlights here. We did talk about progress. We talked about everything as a service, but I think software as a service is the one that came out strong in terms of being done pretty much across the board. I was impressed to hear that classified programs are actually making it to the cloud, because I know over the years people have said, well, the administrative stuff will go right away, but it'll be a long time. So it's good to hear that those hurdles are being jumped over also. We heard security right across the board, with pretty much every question we asked, and it came right out with progress that we're getting better and better with the security stuff. I heard about less administrative burden, less administrators going to be needed in the cloud environment compared to environments we have today. And of course, we heard from DISA about being an actual provider. It's kind of a hybrid approach where it's commercial cloud to the agencies, but actually housed behind the fence at DISA in a secure environment. When we talked about specific programs, we heard about better monitoring and a lot of Intel programs. I loved cloud it or kill it. I thought that was a great line as a way to a goal to move forward. We heard about the Air Ops Centers. We heard about service-hosted environments for everyone. Try to have an environment that can host everyone. And we heard a lot about not boil the ocean. We need to do this in steps and pieces, small chunks, get some success stories, build some momentum, go forward. When we talked about some of the lessons being learned, we talked about the need for a portfolio of applications and doing that upfront work to get the inventories known so you can break it down, kind of like a software engineering process, to determine which programs can go to the cloud, which ones are ready, which ones do we need, which ones maybe we don't need anymore. So there's upfront work that has to be done, and it takes time. It's time intensive, but yet it's going to help down the road in the long run. We talked about partnerships being important and profiles being laid out, security profiles, but and the need for your partners to be made. What drove home on lessons and what I really took away is it's really business decision making. It's not about technology is important, but we need to make good business decisions here as to what we're going to do going forward. And when we talked about challenges, procurement, acquisition, contracting jumped right out, as I kind of knew it would. It always does when you're talking about doing things a little bit different, or models that are slightly different than the way we always did it. Causes some challenges there. We talked about the budget, and the budgeting for cloud's a little different than traditional budgeting. We talked about the need for speed. These things need to move fast, and as the workforce, younger workforce comes in to the government, they're going to expect speed. We talked about the need to look at the legacy apps. There's a lot of old legacy apps out there that are a real challenge. What are you going to do with them? You don't want to move a legacy app over as is. And interdependencies came up. When we talked about vision, we said focus on mission. We talked about everything as a service, as a direction. We talked about a secure digital workspace for everyone. Frank brought up resiliency and the need for COOP kinds of operations. And we talked about better government services, and in my mind, sort of a safer country for our generation and generations to come.